Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have a lovely couple called Ben and AJ. They are from Salt Lake City in Utah in the USA. So let's see what they have to say. Enjoy the interview.
There we go.
All right.
I don't like being shorter than.
You want to trade?
No, it's fine.
So how are you today? You doing well?
We're very good. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just kind of waking up.
Oh
So.
yeah, only just now getting out of bed.
actually in London now it's 7 p.m. So I just had dinner. I already had my dinner.
No, we kind of live. I mean, obviously we're several hours behind you, but we're also several hours behind the rest of our time zone as well.
I see.
We're night people.
All right, so before we start the game, so Ben and AJ, yeah?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so tell me, Ben, let's start with you. Tell me, where do you live? Where are you from?
So we live in Salt Lake City, Utah.
What's the best part of living there?
It's not. I know that it's been supposed to answer. I really love the weather, the climate. It's really awesome. We both grew up in Colorado, where you get four very clearly defined seasons. You get winter, spring, summer, and fall, and they're all very awesome. So we've considered being on the West Coast, where it's warm all the time. But I would very much miss winters. I love to snowboard. I love to play in the snow. So I would very much miss that kind of stuff if we moved somewhere a little bit warmer permanently.
And how long you guys been living there for in Salt Lake City?
I moved here in 2013.
Okay.
So almost 9 years for me, and AJ moved like the year after me, so about 8 years.
I see, but you guys met in Salt Lake City or you met back in Colorado?
We met in Colorado. We actually both went to CU Boulder, and we became very good friends while we were working there. I actually was dating girls at the time, and he convinced me to give a relationship with him. He converted me.
You use your charm, yes, Ben. Use your charm.
Exactly. No, it was a courtship of over 4 or 5 years, where he was very patient and he wasn't pressuring me or anything like that. He just he was so sweet and kind, and eventually there was some sort of chemistry, and I fell in love.
Amazing, very good. Okay, so through the game, I'm gonna explore a little bit more about your, about Salt Lake City, about your career, about your job. So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, AJ, I would like you to tell me something interesting about Ben.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Tell me something interesting about Ben before we start.
Something interesting about Ben. He went to CU for a degree in initially chemistry, but then took a hard right turn and got his degree in theater and kind of history. Almost, it's kind of a long story there. But then after he graduated, he decided to go into nursing. So he's experienced a lot of career changes and goal changes, but he's never been afraid to just kind of readjust his trajectory in life, which is awesome.
I see. So now you are a nurse, Ben. You work as a nurse now.
Yeah, I'm a nurse, and I've also picked up jobs as a nursing instructor as well.
Oh, wow.
So I teach nursing and I'm a nurse.
Amazing. And Ben, what do you do? AJ, what do you do for a living?
I manage a brew pub in the airport and here in Salt Lake City. I was a waiter, server, bartender at the same restaurant company for about 8 years, and then after COVID, I got promoted to management.
Amazing. Okay, Ben, back to you now. Before we start the game, tell me what's the biggest similarity between you and AJ, and what's the biggest difference?
I feel like the differences are easier.
I think the biggest similarity, the biggest and I think most fun similarity is both of us are really into embracing our inner child. So
Oh.
like we both love watching TV shows that we grew up with from the 1990s. You know, we both love playing video games and board games. I mean, not all the board games are. It's not like Candyland. Like we have complicated board games, but
We don't have Candyland, actually. We should get Candyland.
no, we shouldn't get Candyland. So I'd say that's our funnest and biggest similarity is that we both love to play. I guess would be that best way to put it.
And the biggest difference? Ooh. Look at Jay face. Just like waiting to see what you're gonna say.
I know one.
Let's, for the sake of ease, we'll also just go with
Help
I guess-
him, AJ. Help him.
it's not our sleep patterns that are the biggest difference, but it's I try to wake up in the morning and he doesn't. But I try to go to bed at night and he doesn't.
Yeah, we're kind of offset by about 4 hours.
Wow.
Like my goal, I would love it to go to bed between midnight and 2 a.m.
Right.
Last night we went to bed at 4:30.
Yeah.
Usually, who falls asleep first? Usually.
Oh, definitely him.
I'm at a point of my life where once I lay down and I am ready for, like, I am in bed and I lay down, I'm probably out within 10 minutes.
Wow. Wow.
Once he decides it's bedtime, there's really nothing that can keep him up.
I'll tell you something, Ben. In the past, when I was a bit younger, I had trouble of falling asleep. But for the last 4 years, I'm like you. I straight away, I lie down. After like 5 minutes, I'm already down, done.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think part of that for me is just I've consistently not had a steady sleep schedule.
Right.
You know, when I was in nursing school, I worked full time at a hospital.
Oh, I see.
And working in a hospital, you know, I do day shift and night shift and weekend and weekday.
Yeah.
And just like,
Yes.
so my body's just like, oh, you're sleeping now. Go.
I would love to go to sleep
It gets-
before midnight. The problem is I stay up, I sleep until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, so I can't really.
The only difference between you and me, Ben, is because I'm an early bird. Like 9 o'clock, 9 p.m., I'm already like, dozing off. Like 11 o'clock, if you talk to me, I'm not going to be able to talk to you. I'm already out.
Yeah.
Okay, are you guys ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah,
Sure.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to wake up a little bit before the first question. You guys wake up for the day and me to wake up not fall asleep because we get late. Let's do it. Right, so just before we start again, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay?
Okay,
Would you like to go first?
I'll go.
Okay. AJ, the first question is, oh my God, tough question for you now. What's the worst first date have you ever been on?
Gotta be honest with you, I've not been on a lot of first dates. I was in 3 relationships with women before Ben, and 2 of them just kind of were friends that we just kind of got together. So I guess, this was okay. So
The worst or the funniest, something like that you never forget.
it was with this girl. Okay, so I didn't end up dating this girl for very long. We just went on one date. I had a big crush on her. And after this date, I no longer had a crush on her. So I guess it wasn't a great first date or only date. But it was back in high school. It was like early 2000s. And we went to see Fantastic Four, which was really, really bad. The movie itself was bad. And we went to, we went to a restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants for dinner before the movie, and it was just so awkward. It was it was my first date ever, and I was bad at talking to girls in general, and I just didn't know what to say. Most of the dinner was awkward silence, and thank God afterwards we went to a movie, so we didn't have to talk. And we met up with some friends after the movie, and she ended up. I think all of us drove somewhere else. She ended up getting in someone else's car and not riding with me to the restaurant where we ended up having a late night dinner.
Was a relief for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, well, I guess this isn't really a date anymore, and I'm kind of okay with it. It was just so awkward. The whole thing was just super, super awkward. We had no idea what to talk about. I was so nervous. So
it can happen. Those dates always can happen. Mm-hmm. Ben, with you now, how do you make friends? You go like, he doesn't make friends. AJ gonna say he doesn't make friends.
No, he doesn't have any friends.
No, well, it's funny because in our relationship dynamic, AJ's the more outgoing one.
Right.
So he brings people into our household, and I make friends with them.
and you become best friend with them.
Yeah, well, usually it's by cooking for them.
Very good, very good.
No, I was thinking back to like in nursing school. I just kind of I tend to make friends with like the outcast isn't the right word, but like the not like mainstream group of people.
Yeah.
So people who are
your study group was a very colorful collection of characters.
It's like people who are studying alone or eating lunch alone. I'm the one to walk up and be like, "Hey, can I sit with you?" Okay, bye. Or no, not bye. It's just, "Hey, I'm gonna sit with you now."
Yeah.
Like I've adopted. Like you are my introvert. I adopt you.
That's kind of it. You make friends by like adopting shy people, by like clocking in on them and being like, this person doesn't talk to anybody, but I feel like that's how you do it.
And Ben, do you have more gay friends or more straight friends, or it's kind of a mix?
I think due to nursing school, I have a mix of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have more straight friends in Salt Lake City than I do, but I think back in Colorado, I have more straight friends.
Well, yeah.
Good. Very good. Let's go for another one. Let's do it. Anyway. Okay, let's go with Ben. Sorry?
I'll still dance with it.
Good, very good. Okay, Ben, let's go with you now. What is your spirit animal?
I mean, we gotta go for the obvious.
It's probably a panda.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So I've always been a bigger kid, and as like a little on the hairier side too. So I've always been kind of a bear. But I started one of my jobs when I lived in Washington. I worked at a hotel in the national park, and we had a lot of students from other countries come for a summer job on a visa. And one night on a night off, I was in a common room and we were playing DDR. So Dance Revolutions.
Right.
And it was me and a bunch of girls from China. Wow. And we were just having fun. They were beating me like none other. But finally at one point I sat down just kind of exhausted, and this really quiet girl who was really she didn't talk a lot, she just looked at me and very quietly goes, "You remind me of a panda," and then turned away from me. And so since then I just kind of became a panda.
Have you ever seen in real life a panda? Have you ever seen one? I never seen actually. Have you?
No.
I think they're so adorable, aren't they? There are so many videos on YouTube or on social media, like playing around. They're just adorable.
Oh yeah.
They're very innocent and cuddly, and I think that
It's like children. They're like children.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very innocent and cuddly, but mess with one of my cubs and I'll swipe you.
Good one.
Is she causing trouble?
No, we have our cat in the room with us, and she's
What's her name?
her name is Banshee.
Okay. Can I see her? Or is easy?
Oh yeah, she's just, if you hear crinkling in the background, it's because she's getting into the wrapping paper.
How old is she?
We think so. We found her right before Halloween. Well, more like she found us.
Oh, sweet.
They estimated in October she was about 6 months.
Oh,
That makes her what? 9 months old now?
Oh yeah, she's about
Almost a year.
Yeah, I would say almost a year, probably. We don't really know. She's technically our old roommate's cat, but when he moved out, he hasn't quite gotten a permanent living situation settled yet. So we're kind of fostering her for him.
you adopt them. All right.
Mhm.
AJ, for you
Yes.
now, what is your funniest memory of your time at school?
Funniest memory. Well, it is again back in high school, if that's appropriate. I was on the diving team. I was like springboard diving, and every weekend we would practice in the pool, the swimming pool with the swim team. And after practice one day, my dad was actually coaching a volleyball tournament in the gym, which was a couple doors over from the swimming pool. So I finish practice, I go to the locker room, I get changed, and I walk into the gym where there's like 3 or 4 volleyball games happening at the same time. So
Wow.
walking past them, people in the stands, I go up, I say hi to my dad, let him know that I'm there. And he kind of looks at me funny, but then he turns back and goes back to coaching his team. And so I go up into the stands. Have I told you this story before?
Mhm.
Okay. So I go up into the stands, I sit down, I'm watching his team play, and turned to my neighbor, I asked them who's winning, what the score is, because it's a high school team, they don't actually have like a scoreboard. And I in retrospect, I feel like they looked at me kind of funny as well, but I don't know, but I didn't know why. About 5 minutes later, I look down and I realize I'm in polka dot boxer shorts. I had completely forgotten my pants in the locker room. Don't know how I did that, but I guess back in the day I was used to wearing like really loose shorts or like athletic shorts, and I did not realize that I wasn't wearing pants.
Imagine the gay guys playing volleyball. They got all distracted.
Well, these were teenage girls that were quite a bit older than me at the time. But yeah, I tried to play it cool, very subtly, got up, kind of, I don't know how I hide from, when I'm in the stands and there's people surrounding me, but yeah, walked out the gym and sprinted back to the locker room where my jeans are just neatly folded on the bench. So I don't think I went back to the gym. I told my dad I would wait for him in the car.
Saying that, I was playing volleyball. I started playing volleyball. It was my passion, by the way. I was 11 years old when I started playing volleyball, and I was playing until I was 18. I was literally training every single day. And I'm so grateful for this period of my life because, playing volleyball, you need to work as a team. You cannot do the whole job on your own. And
Right.
when I look back, I think that's what I bring for the volleyball. It was such an amazing period of my life. Sometimes I play, but not like before. I don't have the same, the same energy as the time.
I've never actually, I've played like beach volleyball with friends, just like goofing around, but I've never actually played competitive volleyball. It seems so foreign to me, that the type of game that it is. Because I'm used to playing soccer, which is much larger. And to me, volleyball seems like it requires so much more discipline and skill.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you need to be very disciplined. I remember that.
Mhm.
Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, how did you guys meet up? If you can share.
Well, this is going to take like a long time. We'll try to do a bridge.
The very short version is when we both became aware of each other, kind of thing, was we became friends. AJ was in a play
Huh?
with one of my friends from the theater program. So back round one of college in Boulder.
Mhm.
So and
It turned out that I had actually seen him before in the 2008 election cycle. He was caucusing for Hillary.
no,
Obama. So he was caucusing for Obama, and I attended that event and saw him speak. He was running for a student representative, and I didn't vote for him, but I remember him being very, very adorable, charismatic. And no, the other guy that ended up getting elected didn't actually end up doing it, right?
no.
Yeah. So
And
once again, my vote went to waste, but I'm glad.
and saying that, who fall in love first?
No, definitely.
Me. I
Yeah,
definitely felt he was the straight boy I pined after. But
That's-
I had resided myself at a certain point to be like, hey, like I'd rather like bottle up these emotions and keep them as a friend than
I
not
see.
have them at all.
oh, sweet.
Yeah, it took me several years to, and a sexual identity crisis, to come around to the idea of opening myself romantically to another man, like in general, but like him specifically.
And do you guys have the support of your family? Like as a couple, they support you. They are they accept their acceptance.
Absolutely.
Oh, his family loves me more than I.
That's not untrue. Unfortunately, that's correct.
That's because I cook the holiday dinners for them.
It's because you're panda charming.
Yeah, we've both been incredibly fortunate to grow up in very open-minded, progressive families, and never ever once felt immediate.
Yes.
Never felt persecuted or any negative, anything like that. I've avoided that entirely.
Right. AJ, let's start with you now. Describe yourself in one positive word and one negative word only.
Well, for a negative word, I would say spacey. And for a positive word, I would say genuine.
Would you describe him these words as well, Ben, or not?
I believe they are appropriate, yes.
Yeah. When you say we said spacey, what do you mean by that, AJ?
I wouldn't say that it reaches the point of ADHD, but I definitely am very flighty. I forget things a lot because I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff all the time.
I
For
see.
example, I work at a restaurant in the airport, and last week I had an opening shift, so I got done at about 3 o'clock or 3:30, and sometimes I like to bring food from my restaurant home so that we can have lunch or dinner together. And I texted him before. I said, "Hey, do you want me to bring something home?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, okay, I'll bring you like some chicken curry or something." And then I just forgot. I just didn't do it. I finished my closing work. I came home. Didn't even think about it. He didn't even remind me. I remembered the next day. I was like, I was supposed to bring food home for us yesterday.
Yeah. Instead, he got home. I realized he didn't have anything, and I was like, "Okay, I'm cooking."
Yeah.
You played the sweet guy. Okay, that's fine.
I didn't even think about it until the next day.
Ben, let's go with you now. What hurt your feelings?
That I do, or just in general.
No, overall,
Oh,
like
Overall, in general, what hurts my feelings?
Are you trying to start a fight?
No, please, no, please.
No.
As well.
I would say being actively ignored.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're there with friends and I'm trying to say something, but then I start getting talked over.
I see.
That hurts my feelings.
That is
Or-
unfortunately really common.
Or being unincluded, I guess. You know,
Yes.
finding out all your friends got together and did something, you're like, well, I could have gone if somebody invited me. Like, I didn't even know that was happening.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that can be a bit hurtful. Actually, saying that, a friend of mine, we went out last Saturday, with a group of friends, and this weekend I've been working a lot to the channel and editing videos, interviews, and I opened up my social media and I saw him in a club on Saturday night. Like on Sunday, I saw the post he posted on something. I had this feeling. I texted him straight away. Where were you, like, with other friends? And he was like, "Oh, you went to this bar after work." And I was, I didn't say anything, but I felt a bit hurt as well. They didn't invite me. I was like, okay, I invited you last weekend. We went out and you didn't invite me for the other party.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, but I just felt a little bit, this feeling, yeah, when you're not being called, or, you know what I mean? But it was something that's just gone. But when I saw the picture, it just kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, it's very shitty.
So, I mean, I would kind of classify being not included. To me, it's in the same realm as, like I originally said, the being ignored.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, real quick. I tend to swear a lot. Are we avoiding any profanity, or like what's the rating on this?
Oh no! Don't worry. You can. If you say something that's the proprietor just can put beep.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if we were trying to keep this family friendly or
No. Please, just be yourself. Okay. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next question. Let's start now with AJ. AJ, do you have? By the way, good question for you. Do you have any nickname?
AJ is my nickname. My full name is Austin James, but I go by AJ.
Right, so I'm gonna get another one for you. It's too easy for you to answer. Okay?
I mean, I could go, like, I have a pup name, I have a stage name, I have a couple other things, but I very rarely ever go by them.
Ben, do you call him always AJ, or there is other names that you can call him in different
He never calls me AJ.
I rarely call him AJ. It's usually like babe, sweetie.
Oh.
If he calls me AJ, there's something wrong.
or I'll do I guess it's my pet name for him. Like the cutesy relationship name. I'll call him Puppers.
And AJ, when you are angry with Ben, how do you call him? Just Ben?
No, I mean, I know, like, a lot of people will address someone by their full name if they're mad, but I usually just go babe, sweetheart. It to me, especially if I'm angry, I don't like to escalate the tension. I try to diffuse it instinctually. So I become much more loving, I guess, or even docile.
All right. Okay, let's go now with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
What are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Oof. I would love. I don't want to generally say. There's so many places I want to travel to, but I don't want to say, like, just travel. So I'd say a specific place to travel would be the Galapagos Islands.
Okay.
The Galapagos Islands, huh?
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to go there.
I didn't know
that. Oh goodness.
Help him, AJ.
I mean, I know that you want to become a professor. Like, that's one of your career goals. I don't know if that could count as a bucket list. Kids.
Finally finish school.
Yeah, be done with school forever.
That's never gonna happen, but
kids would be on the bucket list.
I wouldn't call that a bucket list thing, though.
I mean,
I would love to own a Victorian style house.
Wow.
And I would also love to travel across Europe, because I've never been to mainland Europe.
Let's say if you had the opportunity to come to Europe.
Mainland Europe.
We got engaged in London. I'm talking about, like, the mainland.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I guess UK is an island.
Wait a minute, you got engaged in London?
Yeah, I asked him in front of Big Ben.
Oh my God, that's so nice, beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Did you know? Oh, look who came. Talk about.
What's up?
So, oh my God, that's amazing. So tell me, did you kind of had a guess, AJ, or not?
Did I have to guess? Is that what you said? Or
Yeah, did you guess something was he would propose to you or not?
well, so we had been discussing marriage for several weeks, or I guess years. At that time, we had been together for 4 years, and we were talking about marriage or the possibility of it for, oh God, even as close to like just a year into our relationship, we were like, "What do you feel? How do you feel about getting married?" So like, we had known that we were ready to propose for a long time, and we discussed like how we were going to do it, and we decided that we would both get our turn. We would just whoever got to it first, and the other one would get a chance to do it as well. And when he graduated nursing school, we planned a trip to the UK to stay with some friends and travel around and see the sights. And I realized that Big Ben was going to be a really great idea, because his name is Ben. He's not a small person, and we're traveling for vacation. So it would just be an awesome opportunity to get down on one knee, which I did.
Oh my God! So you proposed to him? Oh my God, that's amazing!
Yeah, I did first.
Oh, I see.
And then about a month and a half later, I proposed to him while singing karaoke at a bar.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, when I pass in front of the Big Ben next time, I'm gonna remember you guys for sure. Oh my God, that's for sure. I remember when I arrived actually before I lived in London. I've been here for 17 years now, but
Oh, wow.
I visited London, I think 1 year before I moved there. I was living in Portugal, and I remember when I saw the Big Ben for the first time, I was disappointed because for me I thought it was taller and big, but it's quite, I mean, I don't know, maybe when I saw the picture, I thought it was very big, very high. But when I saw it for the first time, I was like, my God, this is the Big Ben. I was a bit disappointed. That's almost
Well, we got super lucky because it's been under construction for the last several years, right?
I was supposed to say, yes, sorry.
Is it still like, do they still have like all the scaffolding and stuff up?
I was about to say that. You know what? I just found out, I think 3 weeks ago, because a friend, someone from the Magic Box who participated, and he's a flight attendant, and he came to London. And so I met him, and we were walking around the city. And I haven't seen the Big Ben for a while. And we were walking near Waterloo Bridge. And I was like, oh my God, the Big Ben is ready. Because it's been for a few years under refurbishment.
Yeah.
And I look at it, it's beautiful now. My goodness, it's really beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen since the renovation, and it looks stunning. I'll take a picture next time and I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to see what it looks like now. We got lucky though, because the angle that we chose was across the river, and
right.
It just so happened that particular clock face was perfectly visible. It didn't have any scaffolding or anything over it.
Which year was that?
2018. Yeah, we've been engaged for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Amazing. Next question, let's do it. But before the next question, when I was checking your profile a little bit, AJ, there was a little phrase that got my attention. It says, the government considers me essential.
Yeah.
I
wrote that during the pandemic when most of my coworkers got laid off and most of my friends got laid off. But since I worked in food service, they needed to keep a couple of people. And I'm not sure if that's a thing that, if it's just a specifically American cultural thing, but we called ourselves, they called us essential employees that stuck around and kept on working during the pandemic. Ben was one of them. I was one of them, like just food service. And so they said, your essential workers need to stick around. And I put that on my Facebook as sort of like a bit of a protest, being like, oh, if I'm so essential, you could pay me, a little bit more. That would be nice. Instead of just like, it's the same thing with nurses, is calling them like our healthcare heroes, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be nice if they could actually like make a living wage?
Ben, let's ask a question to you. Through this, this challenge time, you, for example, my God, you're facing the reality. You're the first one facing the COVID crisis and working. There is some like positive message that you took out of this challenge journey in your job, in your opinion, something positive?
That's tough.
It's difficult, isn't it? To take some.
I guess a positive spin I could put on it is I mean, through all your training as a nurse, you're taught the importance of being adaptable, but a lot of us really found out how truly adaptable we can be. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing is still up in the air, but we know we can do it. If that, at least to ourselves.
Yeah.
We know we can do it, but
I see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, the big picture, the positivity out of this challenge journey through, you guys work in healthcare.
I mean, there's kind of it's sounds negative, but it is also a positive. I will say it's, at least here in the United States, it's brought to light a lot of problems that hospitals have been dealing with for a long time. Like staffing ratios, nurses' pay, things like that. And so having that actually been brought into the limelight is a positive thing.
I see. All right.
Yeah, that's kind of like the employment crisis just everywhere in general. People are starting to realize their value as employees.
I see. Okay, let's go with Ben now. Ben, if you could have dinner with anyone, living or not, who that would be and why?
I guess I laugh because I got asked this once when I was applying for a scholarship for college.
Wow.
And my initial response is probably one I should not have gone with, because I was trying to be like the edgy, controversial teen.
What was it?
I said I would have dinner with Hitler. Just to ask him why, because I wanted to know why. And I feel like that's not a good thing. And as an adult, I look back on that teenage decision and I'm like, I regret that decision.
I would say Jesus.
No.
George W. Bush and Ronald.
No. Shut up.
Not Hitler.
Shakespeare.
Ah.
Wow.
Well, okay, I have two.
Okay.
Either Shakespeare or one of my favorite authors, Neil Gaiman.
Ooh, Neil Gaiman.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Like that. Yeah, he would be good conversation.
Very good. Good one. Let's go for AJ now. AJ, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
Perfect friendship would be completely mutual. I would say, completely mutual. Like we would both, or they would both enjoy each other's company equally, not be taking anything and not reciprocating. Ow, 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 hey. Just decided to start biting. Ah! All right, you take her.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They cuddle first, and after they
yeah, exactly. She decided it was enough cuddles. No, I would say that's kind of really the main ingredient for a perfect friendship, in my opinion, is it has to be as balanced as possible. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of relationships out there where one person is a little bit more, a little bit less involved than the other person, and the other person has to reach, or do like send the first text or make the first call or make the first plans. And unfortunately, that tends to be the case with a lot of friendships. I think a really good friendship would be one that is as balanced and mutual as possible, but also it's not necessary that they communicate like every single day. Like my absolute best friendships, I don't think I talk to those people more than like once or twice a month. But when we get back together, we immediately pick up right where we left off. And I think that that's awesome. It doesn't require physical proximity to keep the relationship strong.
Yeah, I think friendship is like a relationship. You know what I mean? When the chemistry is there, that's it. You don't need to be in touch every day. You don't need to see each other every day. And when things get together, that's what the biggest joy happens, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my best friends gave me a thing, like a little plaque for his when he got married. It said, "Good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you always know they're there." It's weird.
All right. 3 questions left for you guys. Okay, let's do it.
Perfect.
Okay, AJ, let's go with you now. Do you have a unique ability that you think no one has or you never met before?
I can solve Rubik's cubes up to probably of any size, honestly, at this point. The biggest one I've ever attempted is 7 by 7 by 7. I actually have it over there. But yeah, once you learn how to solve, once you learn the techniques of solving Rubik's cubes, you can basically apply them to any sized cube.
Your 7 by 7 hits elsewhere.
So this one is 5.
Wow.
5 by 5 by 5. And this one is 6 by 6 by 6. And I can solve both of them. I do have a 7 one somewhere, but I don't know where it is.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a unique skill. Obviously, I didn't teach myself. I learned it on YouTube, but I've never met anyone in person who can do it.
Very good. Good answer. Let's go with you now, Ben. What was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Masturbate.
No. As a kid, my favorite thing, I was kind of a super nerdy kid, so I would say read.
Yeah?
I mean, I still love to read, but I definitely read a lot more as a kid.
Very good. Good one. 2 questions left for you. Let's do it. Before the next question, between both of you, who is the one who is more kind of calm, more chill? The one is very kind of proactive? Which one?
I think that it goes back and forth, honestly. Like, I don't think we can apply that to either one of us specifically.
And when you guys have like kind of, I wouldn't say a fight, but when you guys have those challenge moments, who is the one who always make it up first?
One of the ways that's the reason that's tough, I think, is because me. Oh, okay. The reason that I think that I have a hard time answering that is because we don't really fight when we have disagreements or when we have, that's such a cliche thing to say. Like, we don't fight, we just have conversations. But my philosophy towards disagreement is it's not me versus him or him versus me. It's us, the two of us, versus whatever is the problem. So that's how we approach most of our disagreements.
Very good. Okay, Ben, let's go with you now.
Okay.
If you won the lottery, what would be your first big splurge?
Paying off my student loans.
Yes.
I have student loans for an associate's degree, 2 bachelor, well, almost 3 bachelor's degrees basically, and a master's degree. And I'm looking at going back to school. So I have a lot of student loan debt, and I need it gone.
If you go back to school, you wouldn't have to pay your student loans back for another 7 years.
But then it would be 6 digits of student loans.
Income-based repayment is fine. I just recently paid off my student loans.
It's so interesting saying that, Ben, because yesterday I had an interview with someone from Chicago, and actually he's doing nurse as well. And he told me the same thing as well about, the loan, the student loan. It can be long, it can be tough, it can be difficult, like for long,
It's financially crippling sometimes. Like school is so expensive, and then once you graduate, if you don't get into like a super high-paying job, it can be completely impossible.
Okay, AJ, let's go with you now.
Here.
I think I'm not sure if I saw. Let me have a look at you. No, okay, I can ask this question. Would you ever get a tattoo? What that would be?
I do have a tattoo, actually. Do you want to do a new question, or do you want me to talk about my tattoo?
I will change the question, but tell me, you just have one tattoo?
Yeah, just one so far. I have plans on getting many more. The next one I want to get is actually based off of the last panel of the last strip of Calvin and Hobbes, which was one of my favorite comics growing up. I really like the philosophy of it and the just the general energy that the author Bill Watterson puts into it. And the very, very last comic that he wrote ends with the two of them on a sled on just a pure white snow backdrop, and Calvin says, "Let's go exploring." And that would be my next tattoo.
Do you have any, Ben, or not?
I have 4.
Right, cool. Okay, another question for you then, AJ. Good question. What do you think? What things do you consider to be relationship deal breakers?
Ooh, relationship deal breakers. I would say different priorities. Just in general, I think the reason that Ben and I work really well is that we both kind of want the same things out of life. Like, we both want to settle down eventually, start a family. We really want kids. I think that's one of the bigger things is, like, you have to agree on what your future looks like. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And thankfully, both of us have very similar ideas of what our future is. And if we didn't, then we would be working towards different things. And it's not a bad thing. It just means that, it's not compatible for a relationship.
Absolutely. I think it's about being honest, what both of you want, what both of the couple, you know what I mean? I think that's the communication, and that to be clear, you know what I mean? I think relationship is about being clear and things going to work out the way it should be.
And that also applies to, sorry, I'm going to continue just a little bit. That also applies to monogamy versus polyamory versus all that other stuff. Like, Ben and I decided early on that we didn't want to be in an open relationship. But if somebody was more or less monogamously oriented, they wouldn't be able to be in a relationship with somebody who wanted an open relationship. Even if that person said that they could try to make monogamy work, I don't feel like that trust would be there. There would always be that underlying, like, oh, is he going to cheat on me? Like, what's he off doing right now? Kind of.
Absolutely. Are you okay, Ben?
Yep, just stretching.
I want to be clear. I don't have anything against open relationships. I think that they're wonderful, but it needs, you have to be
on the same page.
You have to be on the same page about it, for sure, which is
absolutely. I totally agree.
Relationships as well. There has to be that communication.
Totally. I think there are no rules, you know what I mean? As long as everyone is happy, everyone is the same page. I think that's what matters. Totally, for sure. Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Good. Let's go. Last question. Right, let's go for the last question. Let's start with you now, Ben. Did you have an imaginary friend as a child, and what was their name?
I did, yes. His name was Justin.
I didn't know that.
How I can pull that out so quickly, I don't know. It's in my memories. I don't know how I just pull it out like that. But yes.
I did not know that, no. Was it a person? Was it a...
Yeah. But, like, I always knew he was imaginary. Mm-hmm. Like, I never at one point was like, oh, my friend here. It's not there.
You never hallucinated your imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Oh, very sweet, very sweet. Last question for you now, AJ. What is a significant event that has changed you?
Definitely studying abroad was, event or experience, I guess. There's two different things. But that was my first time traveling on my own for an extended amount of time, and just kind of learning that the world was available to me to visit and, like, just open, and how possible it was to go see other things and do other things and step out of my comfort zone. That was really my first time experiencing that. Like, I just kind of went to Egypt for spring break on a whim. Like, me and two other people were just like, whoa, we can do this. Let's fucking go.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with Ben. Ben, one word for money.
Greed.
AJ?
Cash. Synonyms are
Okay. AJ, one word for family.
love.
Ben?
Together.
Ben, one word for sex.
Passion.
AJ?
Fun.
AJ, one word for love.
Family.
Ben, one word for love.
Respect.
How about life, Ben? One word.
Complicated.
AJ?
Green. Life.
Amazing. AJ, politics. Ben?
Ugh.
That's some words. I'll take that.
That's a word. I was like, there's a sentiment there that just can't be in a word.
Ben, one word for religion.
Messy.
AJ?
Complicated.
AJ, fear.
Scary.
Ben?
Opportunity.
Good one. Ben, friendship.
Respect.
AJ?
Love.
AJ, desire.
Need.
Ben?
Lust.
Ben, regrets.
Sadness.
AJ?
Pain.
AJ, success.
Happy. Happiness.
Ben?
Wealth.
Okay. Ben, how about wish?
Yearn.
AJ?
Star.
AJ, one word for happiness.
Contentment.
Ben?
Joy.
Okay, Ben, one word for Salt Lake City.
Home.
AJ?
Mormon.
Actually, you saying that, I had an interview with someone from Mexico, but he lives in Salt Lake City, and he was telling me about his parents back in Mexico. They were part of the community, and he is being raised the Mormon community. Actually, saying that, I had a few guests on the show from Salt Lake City. I can't wait to go there one day to meet everyone together. My God, it'll be amazing. Can't wait.
Yeah, come visit. It's actually not like, as far as the rest of Utah goes, the Mormon presence in Salt Lake City is pretty mild. Like the Mormons that live here either assume that you're one of them or that you want them to leave you the fuck alone, which is usually the case with us. So we don't usually get approached by Mormons, and I play soccer with a lot of people that still attend church, but they're very respectful. It's the religion as an organization in general that I have a problem with, not the individuals.
I see. Okay, AJ, one word for Colorado.
Colorado, colorful.
Ben?
That was actually going to be my word.
Okay, I'll take that. Ben, one word for USA.
Oh. Sorry, I just had like 10 words pop into my head at once. Divided.
How about you, AJ?
Complicated.
Okay. Ben, define AJ in one word.
Endearing.
AJ. Oh, beautiful. AJ, define Ben in one word.
Loyal.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right, so let's pretend now I'm going to meet one of your best friends, and I'm gonna ask them, what do you admire the most in Ben and AJ relationship? What would be their answer?
I would say probably. Do you want to go, or do you want?
You can start.
Okay, I would say the stereotypical cuteness, I guess, that we have in public. Like it's not uncommon for our friends to pretend to be disgusted with how openly attracted we are to one another.
Very good. Okay, let's play now Ben and AJ in the magic box, and you guys can ask me a question. But okay, who'd you like to ask the question first?
I came up with a question last night.
Did you? Do you want to think about it for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. I would ask, what is something from your past that you would like to be forgiven for?
Forgiven for?
Yeah.
Wow.
We all have those memories where we're like, God, I did something really stupid, and I never actually got closure on that. It's a bit of a personal question, I guess. But...
No, I love it. I love the question. I love the challenge. Very good point. Now, AJ. Okay, let me have a think. Very good. I'm thinking about yesterday was Mother's Day yesterday, and I had a call to my mom. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest. What the first thing that came to my mind now is a bit personal, but I mean, I was a teenager anyway, like as a child teenager. Once I was with my mom at home, and I was like you guys saying about being a child, you know what I mean, very proactive, and actually I always had this personality as well, sometimes too much. Anyway, so I remember my mom, I was at home, she was kind of busy doing something, like at home doing the chores and everything, and she was kind of doing something in her ear, inside of her ear, and I just came in and just put her arm like this inside, but like as a joke, and she kind of, thank God she didn't get hurt like badly. She didn't get hurt. But I remember at the time, I felt so bad like afterwards, because I could see like her, you know what I mean, the tears in her eyes, because it was painful. And I was like, oh my goodness, it really broke my heart, because if I could make the time back like a few seconds, I wouldn't have done that, because I could see how hurt it was, like painful was, and it could be really something serious, and she was really upset. She was like, my God, I could get death the way, because it was a joke, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was, this bubbly, you know what I mean, mindset, and I just around. Yeah, but I remember, oh my God, and after I felt a bit worried, I was like, oh my God, I was so relieved after that nothing happened, like nothing more, let's say, you know what I mean, grave, something more like badly happened, because I got very worried afterwards, and I felt relieved as well. But that's something that's always, when I think about my mom, I was talking to her yesterday, and she's far away from me now. She's back in Brazil, and I was having these memories in the past, and the first thing that came to my mind was a moment that sometimes I think about, and I go like, oh my God, I even don't like thinking about that.
Yeah, we all have stuff like that.
I know, but
okay.
Yeah, thank God as well. But actually, after when I realized that she was okay, I felt so relieved, because the way I did, and she literally could hurt her ears inside anyway. So yeah, this first thing that came to my mind, of course, if I would have more, if I would be think and analyze, I would find other things as well. I think all of us, we have those moments where we go like, I wish I could have done differently, or I wish I could, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the first thing that came to my mind was that. I think because I was talking to her a lot yesterday, and this memory came to my mind.
Yeah, sure.
Ben, you know.
If you could travel to one time period in the past, you wouldn't have to live there, just to visit. When would you visit and why?
Very good one. You know what? I would love to be part when the Portuguese colony, when they arrived in Brazil, for the very first time, when they arrived there, they have the natives, the natives back in Brazil, the Amerindians. That's the question, yeah? That's the question that's what you mean. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would love to be in there the moment when the Portuguese colony arrived there, and because Brazil, we are so mixed, you know what I mean? There are so many Europeans. I have like 5 different backgrounds, when I do that. It's a lot. I've got a lot of backgrounds, and I'd love to be there in the moment when they arrive there, just to see how everything started back in Brazil. I would be fascinated, you know, we are so mixed. We have so many backgrounds in Brazil. Just have the you know, how things got together, how they started, you know, to be the country we are right now. The so mixed we are back in Brazil. So yeah, I think I would go back to this moment just to be there, just for the first day when they arrived, the Portuguese, you know, arrived there, just to have a see, just to be there, just to see how things start back in Brazil.
Yeah.
My answer to you.
That's wonderful.
Guys, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
Very much, yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks so much for being awake.
For waking up at the crack of noon.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But before you go, if you guys can just share a positive message or something that you live by.
Oh, I actually prepared for this, if that's all right. Let me just pull up a quote that I have. One of my favorite artists, his name is Shane Koizan. He's a poet that recently he's gotten a little bit more exposure because he had a poem called To This Day, which is about bullying. But that's not the poem that I wanted to bring up. This is called How to Be a Person. And he's a very, very beautiful Canadian poet. He's got some very amazing lyrics, and he does albums with the backing of a band called The Short Story Long. And this is from one of those albums. And it's called so the poem is called How to Be a Person. And the section says, "Do not fear to be hated, but be cautious towards those inhabited by hate. You will be hated regardless of who you are, what you say, or what you do. You will be hated for your successes or your failures, for good looks or bad looks, for intelligence or for stupidity. Hate is the child of the hater, nurtured by the beliefs that it's fed. You often have no control over what you're hated for. Know that antipathy becomes the master of its owner. Know that if you are going to be hated regardless of who you are, then be fearless enough to be who you want to be. Hate is no more eloquently articulated than in the poetry of the expression, not your f***ing problem."
Amazing, very good. Just before I ask you, Ben, I would like to say something regarding that. AJ, I like as a teenager, I always had this. I think all of us will go through that. Like you want to fit in place. You have these things in your shoulders. Try to please everyone. You want to be, and when you realize that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you do. There's always someone that's not going to agree with you for some reason, and it's okay. It's okay. It's part of the journey as well. And yeah. When I realized that, my God, I took out this heavy thing from my shoulders. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because when you're young, you go like, "Oh my God, why this person doesn't like me for this?" Or because there's no reason why. There's just the way it's meant to be. And when you understand that, you feel more relaxed and you see life in a different way.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
I think my favorite part is talking about, like, know that if you'll be hated regardless of who you are, then be fearless enough to be who you want to be. Kind of gives you permission to just do whatever you want, be whoever you want to be, and doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, which is a very universal message. But Absolutely. That's one of my favorite ways that it was articulated that I heard what's going on.
Absolutely. Ben, would you like to share a quote?
It's funny because we didn't actually talk about what quotes we would do.
Okay.
But mine actually has a very similar sentiment. So thanks for stealing my thunder. No, so it's actually part of my tattoo right here. I have the two theater masks spliced together.
Can you show? Can you show? Oh.
So it's the two theater masks, comedy and tragedy as one.
Okay.
And in that banner at the bottom is an act, scene, and line number from one of my favorite quotes from Shakespeare.
Wow.
And it's from Hamlet. And it's, "Remember this above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day that thou then canst be false to any man."
Easy.
So it's a very similar sentiment of be true to yourself and who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's how you can lead the most authentic life.
Absolutely. And the right people are going to cross your path and they're going to be forever in your life. That's what it means as well. Thank you so much. My goodness, it was a pleasure having you. Thanks so much, AJ, for bringing Ben as well together for the...
Yes, thank you for reaching out.
Thank you so much. And one day I'll see you in Utah, okay? And
Yeah, absolutely. Please come
next
visit.
time when you come to London, please let me know, okay? I would like to see you again in London.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have a great night.
Keep in touch, okay? Take care. Enjoy your day.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.